It seems like every single day there is another story you end up reading and thinking, I did not see that coming. And here is today's. Johnny Sexton has been announced as an assistant coach for the British and Irish Lions tour to Australia, after which he will take up a role in the Ireland setup. So Andy Farrell has brought Johnny Sexton right into the fold. Possibly he needs some help as British and Irish Lions head coach. He needs some help with metal and glass packaging, because that is the job that Johnny Sexton has been doing until now. Presumably office life doesn't sit too well with Johnny Sexton. After a career playing rugby, he wants back in the game, and who can blame him for that? And he's entered right at the very top. He has had a little bit of time with the Ireland camp, kind of in a role through, I think it was through the autumn, but certainly through the Six Nations. And obviously he has impressed. And he brings with him all that experience as a player. But how do you feel about Johnny Sexton, Lions assistant coach? I mean, the British and Irish Lions as a player and as a coach is regarded as the pinnacle, the ultimate. And Johnny Sexton goes in there in his first proper coaching role, which is amazing, really, isn't it? And throws up lots of talking points about what his exact role is going to be, what he will bring to that tour, and what it means potentially for some of the selections, especially in the fly half position. I'm going to cover off all of that on the video, so please get stuck in the comments down below. What did you think when you saw that news? I mean, the one bit of news missing today with these two announcements from the British and Irish Lions and from the IRFU, the one bit missing is that he's going to be the new backs coach for Leinster next season, coaching Rico Ioane. That would have been fun as well. He's obviously, as I say, ditched his job. He's a rugby brain with so much to offer. And when he had spoken in the past, I guess maybe it was immediately following leaving rugby, he kind of just said he had no interest in coaching. And coaching is a really tough gig. You're the first one in, you're the last one out. And quite often, unless you're one of the big name head coaches, quite often the pay's not very good and the hours are long. But you're involved in the game that you love and which you can add serious value to if you're someone as good as Johnny Sexton was. What role is he going to have? Well, in terms of Ireland, he's going to have a wide-ranging role working up and down the age grades, men's and women's rugby. So kind of he's going to be plugged in as and when. And when Ireland are in camp, say for a Six Nations, I'm sure he'll have a key role there. The rest of the time, he'll be using his experience, or building up his experience, I should say, by working with up and down the entire age grade system and all of the teams at Irish Rugby. As for his role with the British and Irish Lions, haven't got a clue, because none of the coaches have had specific roles assigned when they've been announced. And it's interesting that this announcement has not come at the same time as the others. I've got a video in the channel right now. Please go and have a look at that if you haven't already, on the coaches when they were announced. And broadly speaking, my guess was that it broke down John Fogarty and John Dale forwards, Richard Wigglesworth and Andrew Goodman backs/attack, Simon Easterby defence coach, and second in command to Andy Farrell, who is the overarching main man. How does Johnny Sexton fit into this picture? Why was his name not announced at the same time as these other ones? That leads me to think that this is an unplanned choice, maybe quite a spontaneous one. And I think maybe it builds a picture that Andy Farrell just does what he wants. And I kind of like that about him. He moves to the beat of his own drum. He is the main man, and he's decided that he can get some value on this tour from Johnny Sexton. But where does he fit in? Going into a bit more detail, my thought was John Dale will be overall the forwards coach with a specific expertise in the line-out, which has gone really well for Scotland. John Fogarty, as he has done with Ireland, will be the scrum coach. And those will be the two looking after the forwards, where Simon Easterby can also add some value, of course. But he will have main responsibility, would be my guess, for defence. Andrew Goodman, the attack coach with Ireland, you'd expect him to continue that same role. And Richard Wigglesworth, I had Richard Wigglesworth down as the kicking and skills coach. He is the attack coach for England. And so maybe he's going to have a more elevated role. Initially, I had him in the kicking skills role, but if I had to guess, that would be the role that I would think Johnny Sexton would fulfill, particularly with his particular skill set. Or I don't know, is there a... I'm just trying to think what other possible role Johnny Sexton could fulfill. My guess would be he would be a kicking coach. Maybe he will just be like he's being used with the IRFU when he gets to Ireland, wide-ranging, plugged in as and where's needed. Maybe he will be used in the same way. What you can say about him is he understands what it's all about being a British and Irish Lion. He played he played 6 tests in the 2 tours in 2013 and 2017. I think he started all 3 in 2013. And he started on the bench in the 2017 series in New Zealand, but then started in the 10 jersey for tests 2 and 3 there. And I mean, he won 1 series and drew the other away with the All Blacks. So he's got record there. So we can certainly add that experience. He's, in terms of the fly half selection, this is where it gets quite interesting, because he's played with Jack Crowley and Sam Prendergast. He's played against Finn Russell. Finn Russell took his spot. Well, Johnny Sexton regards it as his spot that Finn Russell took on that 2021 tour to South Africa. And Johnny Sexton has spoken about how that's, I think the quote was it in his autobiography, missing out on the 2021 Lions tour still kills him every single day. So I don't know how much of that clouds his thoughts on Finn Russell, but this is where it gets quite interesting and where the conversation opens up into who will be the fly half. Because, of course, in this picture as well, Finn Smith, George Ford, Jack Crowley not pictured there, Owen Farrell as well. And he was asked not too long ago who he would pick for the British and Irish Lions, and Johnny Sexton said, and I quote, "I'd pick Owen Farrell. Who do you want in there when the going gets tough? Test match animals. I know who the media would want, Finn Russell, the flashy. But for me, I'd like Owen. He can do some remarkable things." Interesting. Now, Andy Farrell at the weekend was in Galway to watch Connacht play against Racing 92, where Owen Farrell was playing. Now, Andy Farrell, you'd think with all those big Champions Cup games going on, he would select his games very carefully as British and Irish Lions head coach that he would want to watch with selection in mind. Who was he watching in Connacht against Racing 92? Well, maybe he was watching Dan Lancaster, who actually had a decent game and has been starting for Racing 92. Maybe Dan Lancaster is the bolter for the Lions. But most likely, he was there to watch Owen Farrell. Now, if Andy Farrell were to pick his son, which I would totally understand, as you've heard me on this channel before, I've never understood the stick that Owen Farrell gets. He's one of the greatest 10s to ever play the game, certainly one of the best English 10s of all time, and yet has been disliked his whole career, and I've never understood it. He's an incredible player, and his record speaks for itself. And the way that his teammates and opponents speak about him tells you everything. And the fact that Johnny Sexton has spoken with such high praise for Owen Farrell just tells you what an amazing player he is, because Johnny Sexton's one of the best to have done it. But if you were Andy Farrell and you were contemplating picking your son for the British and Irish Lions tour, wouldn't it help if you had a really, really vocal advocate, someone who was really, really experienced in the fly half position, who would speak up even louder than you would for how good Owen Farrell is? That would help a little bit, you would think, wouldn't you? That said, the fact that Johnny Sexton is there at all, as I've already said, speaks to the fact Andy Farrell does what Andy Farrell wants, as he should, as is his right. But it does open up an interesting possibility that maybe Owen Farrell will tour with the British and Irish Lions. Despite not playing international rugby, despite not having played a lot of rugby for Racing 92 this season due to various injuries, and despite currently being selected behind Dan Lancaster. So, I mean, it's just getting quite interesting. I would be good with the Owen Farrell selection. It's one that I've made in my Lions squads when I've been debating it on the channel before, but it would put the cat among the pigeons. Johnny Sexton would be Owen Farrell's biggest advocate. So yeah, there's that. There's what is Johnny Sexton's role going to be with the British and Irish Lions? I guess other questions that this throws up is the coaching setup too Irish? There was already that accusation being levelled in some quarters before Johnny Sexton got added to the roster. But now there's another Irishman in the coaching setup. Warren Gatland got accused of the same thing, with it being too Welsh previously as well. It's an interesting one. Again, I think Andy Farrell, his only concern is winning those test matches in Australia. And I'm absolutely sure Andy Farrell is only doing what he thinks is best to achieve that particular outcome. And he's earned the right to make the calls that he wants to make. That's why he's the boss. He will carry the can if it goes wrong, but he will take the plaudits if it goes right. So there's another thought. What does it mean for fly half? And also the other question, as I've already alluded to a little bit earlier, is Johnny Sexton is very, very early in his coaching career. Didn't even look like he was going to get into coaching. Then he sort of dipped his toe in with Ireland. Now he's there with the British and Irish Lions, which there might be other coaches around the world who could have gone on that tour looking and thinking, hold on. Just like Johnny Sexton thought his spot on the last British and Irish Lions tour was taken by Finn Russell, there might be other coaches going, hold on, that spot that Johnny Sexton's got, that should have been me. It's an interesting one, and another great talking point. So let me know exactly what you think. I'll be down there in the comments with you. Give the video a thumbs up, hit subscribe. I'll see you on the next video.